The Chiefs just gave us an unexpected surprise for mandatory minicamp, and in this video, I'm going to give my thoughts, and I'm also going to talk about what it might mean for these players' futures in Kansas City. But if you guys are new to this channel, my name is Michael Darcy, and you are watching the KC Sports Report. Hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to this channel for more daily Chiefs coverage. We are less than 100 subscribers away from 13,000, which is just an insane number, and I'm so grateful to each and every single one of you for taking time out of your busy lives to catch up on some Chiefs news. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into the update. The B-roll, Travis Kelce is out there at practice at mandatory minicamp. Now, this isn't really surprising because we were all under the assumption that he would report to camp, but at the same time, this is someone that is going into presumably his final season in the NFL. He's apparently down 25 pounds. He's in better shape, which is a great thing for his game. And you can see right there, he's catching up with Chris Jones. It's just so great, to see these guys back in the facility, stretching, training, getting ready to avenge that Super Bowl loss. And this is going to probably be, the final season of Travis Kelce in the NFL. And I think he's going to go out there and try to put out and put on a show, because this is someone that has all of the makings to have a special, final season. And the next piece of news, Trey Smith actually reported to mandatory minicamp after he signed the franchise tag earlier this offseason. Now, to some people, this isn't surprising. In fact, I actually put out a poll on my YouTube community tab, and over 1,100 of you voted, and like 60-something% of you thought that Trey Smith would report. I'm actually pretty surprised. I did not expect to see Trey Smith at mandatory minicamp and actually going through some of the practice drills. And while these aren't the most strenuous drills, it is still pretty encouraging that Smith did report, because he's still trying to get that long-term contract worked out. And I think that he still wants, to get paid, but he wasn't willing to, forego the $100,000 fine that he would have received if he did not report to minicamp. And so I think that it's good to see him in the building. And I think for his future, that's probably a good sign. It's probably a good sign that he is in the building. He's not holding out. And I actually do want to go ahead and show this graphic because I thought it was so funny. They asked Chris Jones earlier today at the podium what he thought of the Trey Smith situation. And Chris Jones on Trey Smith, who was in attendance for mandatory minicamp, "It's good he didn't take my approach. He shouldn't take any advice from me." And he kind of laughed about it because, Chris Jones went through this situation a couple of off seasons ago where he wanted to get, paid by the Chiefs. And he ended up kind of sitting out, and it was a whole mess. And if you guys remember, he actually sat out the first game of the season, and the Chiefs saw how that went, and they immediately gave him a contract extension. So I do think that Trey Smith being in the building is good for the Chiefs. It's good for Trey Smith. This isn't someone that needed to be present, but I think that it sets a good message for the rest of the team that, okay, yeah, I'm still trying to get paid, but at the same time, we've got a goal. We've got a, thing that we're looking at and saying we want to be there at the end of the season competing for another Super Bowl. And I think that since Trey Smith is in the building, that is a good sign. But I do want to hear from you guys down in the comments section below. What do you think of Travis Kelce and Trey Smith reporting to mandatory minicamp? And what do you think of, the B-roll of them out there at practice, actually getting, together with their teammates and running through some drills? We're still, I think, a little over 3 months away from football. And so at times it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm just fiending for it. When are we going to get it? And so to see these, practice clips, it always makes my day better because it's just like we're so close to football, and we are only, I think, a little over a month away from when the players report to St. Joe. So training camp is right around the corner, and that is a very exciting thing for the Chiefs Kingdom. And I do want to talk more about a contract extension potentially for Trey Smith, and we'll do that right after this ad break. The Hollywood Casino at Kansas Speedway is the place to be. With over 1,500 slot machines, 35 table games, 4 restaurants, and a new ESPN Bet sportsbook, there are plenty of ways to find your fun. For more chances to win, follow them on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Welcome to the Rice Real Estate Group, Kansas City's premier partner in real estate. Whether you're buying, selling, or investing, you'll receive a tailored experience designed just for you. Specializing in residential, commercial, and investment properties, the dedicated team over at the Rice Real Estate Group helps guide you through every transaction, including navigating those short, complex sales. With a commitment to personal one-on-one service, they will ensure that you are supported every step of the way. You can achieve your goals with expertise, care, and a customized approach that truly makes a difference. Ready to make your next move? The Rice Real Estate Group is here to make it happen. For more information, call 816-819-9333. Huge thanks to the sponsors that support this channel all off-season long. Now, getting back into the main portion of this video, I want to pose a question to you guys. Do you think that Trey Smith will receive a contract extension from the Chiefs? The deadline for Trey Smith to sign an extension is July 15th. And I'm not going to lie, guys. I think that he is probably going to have to play this season under the franchise tag. I have a hard time believing that, Brett Veach is going to come out after all of this time and extend Trey Smith. And so I think that he'll probably end up playing this season under the franchise tag. And the Chiefs might have to go into next offseason, franchise tag him again, and either trade him or extend him. But I do think that it's probably going to be a little bit until we see a Trey Smith extension. But I do want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Maybe you guys disagree with me. Maybe some of you do agree with me. But I do think that right now, I don't think that's really Brett Veach's priority. And maybe it is. Maybe it's just, what's going on behind the scenes. But we haven't really heard much in terms of a potential contract, extension update. And so I think right now he's probably just going to play under that tag, make the guaranteed $23.4 million and, have a good season. And I think that's okay. It's not great roster construction to pay a right guard, $23 million of guaranteed money in a season. But I think that the Chiefs were in a position this offseason when they traded Joe Thuney that they couldn't just say, okay, we're getting rid of Trey Smith too. Like, they kind of needed some stability for this offensive line, and to have Trey Smith for another season where you're kind of trying to figure out the left tackle situation with Josh Simmons or Jalen Moore, I do think that is a good sign. And, we got a ton of other updates from mandatory minicamp. We got stuff on the offensive line. We got some more stuff from Chris Jones. I do want to talk about that in a separate video. So that's all I have for this one. Hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, go Chiefs.